We are looking at Peace for the Troubled Hearts, written by Herman Hoxema. And I'll be reading parts of this for the comfort of our souls. The Pilgrim's Confession. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. The Pilgrim's Confession. We confess that we are strangers and pilgrims on the earth. It is a confession, if it is not merely lip service, that expresses what lives in our hearts, and relative to all things earthly, rules our entire life on the earth. Only two confessions are possible. One is either a stranger and a pilgrim, or one is a citizen on the earth and seeks and finds one home here below. If you choose the latter, that is, if you seek your permanent home on the earth, and you do not acknowledge or seek another home for yourself, your whole worldview, your thinking, willing, desiring, and striving is limited by the horizon of this present time. Then you seek the things below that lie under the law of time. Then you strive to possess as many earthly things as possible. Then you chase after the full enjoyment of earthly pleasures. You view earthly things not as a means of achieving a purpose, as a way to an end, but as the goal of all your striving and labour, of all your drudgery and struggling. Then you are without God in the world, and also without hope. For then, from the vantage point of the present, you will look towards the future and constantly seek better things, peace-giving realities for your soul, since present realities can never give you peace and satisfaction. But your hope is a continually disappointing expectation, a mirage that you chase in the vanity of your earthly life until death and eternal darkness put an end forever to your vain expectations. Then your motto is this: let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. Then you will attempt to keep what you have, so that you may be identified with the rich and with the possessors of this world. If you belong to the poor and indignant of the earth, you will strive to steal from those possessors of the world whatever you can. You do not understand any explanation of, and you can have no peace with, the suffering of this present time. You do not practice submission in the midst of painful realities, nor do you have any patience with adversity. You have no comfort in circumstances of grief and sorrow, but are held captive by the fear of death all life long. Then you become more and more convinced, vanity of vanities. All is vanity. How radically different is the worldview, the assessment of life and attitude towards life of him who confesses that he or she is a stranger and a pilgrim in the earth. His horizon reaches out far beyond the horizon of time to the distant reaches of eternal life. There, in the eternal, in the heavenly, in the consummation of all things, is his home, his destination, the goal of all his striving and the fulfillment of all his expectations. He seeks the things that are above. Upon them he sets his heart. His treasure is in heaven. He sees and evaluates all things in the light of that eternal hope. He specifically seeks not the things below, the things that are on the earth. Temporal things are in themselves not his goal, but are the means to achieve his goal, as well as the means to fulfill his life's purpose, God's purpose here on the earth. Then he struggles to climb to the top of Zion. Then he hopes with a living hope that never disappoints. It is a hope that stretches far beyond the temporal into the eternal, that reaches far beyond the range of the earthly unto the heavenly, that is victorious over the world, and that defeats even death itself. He is then thankful in prosperity and patient in adversity. He has an explanation for the suffering of this present time, for he knows that all things must work for the good and must serve to the attainment of his eternal dwelling place. He has comfort even in death. He sings through his tears. He confesses that he is a stranger and a foreigner in the earth. Then he can die in faith, looking to the promise. Glorious confession.